Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Oh, it is something that can help you feel better, reduce pain, give you an overall sense of wellness, even help you with anxiety, depression, even fertility issues. It's been around for centuries. Many of us gravitate away from it because we don't fully understand it. And we're going to change that today. I am talking about acupuncture. Don't be afraid of the needle. We're going to learn more about that today. And that is from somebody who has helped many master their own healing. And she is a doctor of naturopathy, certified body talk trainer and practitioner, certified nutritional counselor, master herbalist, and so much more. And she's got a lot of this stuff like acupuncture in her wheelhouse of understanding. Dr. Jacquilen Tomas Ali joins us once again on the program. How you doing today?
Good. How are you? Hey.
I feel like every time we get together, it's like class in session. You know, we learn all these different tips, modalities, tricks. Acupuncture, going to be fully transparent, always am. I've never done it, but I want to in the worst way. The more and more I learn about it, the more and more the aversion to the needle kind of goes by the wayside. And we're going to learn about it today. So where do we start with all of this?
Well, let me first start off with understanding your apprehension, because I was the same way.
Okay.
Even though I knew about it, understood it, I'm like, needles, I'm not going to be a pin cushion. But there, I experienced some difficulty, some pain, and even though I was doing herbs and other things, I said, let me, just something said, try out the acupuncture. And I'm so glad that I did, because the form of acupuncture that I tried was community acupuncture versus one-on-one. But we'll get to that.
I really can't wait to get to that. I want to learn that.
Yes.
And the needle thing, quite honestly, it was only up until about a year ago where I changed my feelings of needles in terms of the anxiety. For years, I would have a blood test schedule, just a routine lab. You make the appointment online. The day before would come. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it next week. There's no rush. I'll do it next week. I would change the appointment. Next week would come. I'm like, tomorrow. I'll see if they got something tomorrow. And I would just keep changing it. And why, I don't know. Grown man, afraid of needles. I think maybe it might be once I felt like I might pass out, and then that makes it even worse, and on and on and on. And something happened. Dr. Jackie, where I just flipped the switch in my mind, and it doesn't bother me, because I look at it as I am doing something for myself. Could be going for a massage. It could be going for a jog. Could be a hike. Going for a lab test. You're doing something for yourself, and you're going to get some information. It may not be great information. It may be great information. Either way, you're going to use it to your advantage.
Yes.
I flipped that. And then, wouldn't you know it, I had a skin cancer situation about a month and a half ago, where I needed a lot of needles. Like, they had to do a biopsy, 6 in my neck, bam, bam, bam. It almost became a game for me. I wanted to see how much pain I would feel, and then when it would go away. Because when they numb you up, it's going to a little sting for a second there. And how I would react. It got to a point, I'm not even, this is in the last 2 months.
Right.
To a point where I would laugh, where they would be doing something. I'm laughing. Like, what are you laughing at? I'm like, I think it's kind of funny. Like, it's like, the threshold of pain and just, and when in challenge, all I would do when they were, doing a biopsy, I just found a nail on the wall and I just stared at it.
Yes.
I played music in my mind.
Yes.
Those are different needles than what we're talking about here with acupuncture. As I understand it, the typical lab draw needle, for blood test, you could put a bunch of acupuncture needles inside that needle. It's that small.
But it's still the person's understanding and their mindset
Uh-huh.
regarding needles.
Yep.
And many times, it's just human nature. We kind of categorize them to be under the same umbrella. And you're right, very, very, very different.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
First, let me say that if anyone is considering acupuncture, please make sure that you're receiving services from a person who is trained and licensed. And do not try this on your own. Don't
Mm-hmm.
try it on your own.
Not going to happen over here. I don't even know who would even think. But anyway, that
Yes,
that
yeah,
being said, let's go back to the basics here.
yes.
What is acupuncture?
Okay, acupuncture is the insertion of thin needles into the skin at certain anatomical points in the body to relieve specific symptoms associated with many diseases. And the theory and practice of acupuncture is based on Asian medicine, also known as traditional Chinese or Oriental medicine. And it's been used, as you mentioned earlier, it's been used in Asian countries for thousands of years to preserve health and diagnose, treat, and prevent illness. Acupuncture is a healing technique of traditional Chinese medicine, and it's with the understanding that through our body are these channels of energy that flow through, and these channels are called meridians.
Mm.
And when there is a blockage, oh, wait a minute, okay, these channels of meridian of energy, which in Chinese medicine is called qi, and when there is a blockage and it's not flowing as it should, that many times the person may experience pain, difficulties, and it may, excuse me, if it goes on for a period of time, may end up as a disease.
Mm.
So it's a matter of releasing the flow of energy in that meridian. When an acupuncturist studies acupuncture, they not only study the anatomy of the body, but they also study those meridian lines as to the way the energy flows, because knowing where those energy lines are, those meridians are, is crucial for them to know where to place the needles. And from my understanding, there are 12 meridian channels associated with specific organ systems in the body. 6 on this side, 6 on this side. So it really flows in alignment with the systems in our body, such as respiratory, muscular, digestive, etc.
To me, it almost sounds like those major points are the main roadways. Like, let's say they're the highway, and then there
Yes.
are side roads that are connected to those, the six meridians that you talk about.
Yes, yes, yes. And the energy of the meridians have been given, I guess, a an energy label in terms of feminine energy or yin, and masculine energy or yang. And they're on both the front and the back of our body. So the front, right side, I guess this is right for you. And then left side, yes. And it's knowing and understanding how all of that works.
It is a science. Chinese medicine has been around for so long. This is how they healed. You couldn't go
Yes.
to the doctor and get a prescription. And it all starts at the root, and that's the blockage. That's the
Yes.
chi. And it's
Yes.
interesting. I've asked Chinese medicine practitioners, what's chi? And
Hmm.
everyone will explain it a little bit differently, but essentially it is the block of a flow of positive energy. There's chi in your blood. And if there's,
Yes.
something blocking that, I'm not talking about, a heart attack block, just there's energy blocks within our body. And that is what's causing disease, discomfort. It's amazing how many different challenges that acupuncture can help us out with, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, as you mentioned earlier, um, I had my own concerns about acupuncture because for me, the getting a needle to draw blood, that's like they draw it, and within a minute or two, it's
Hmm.
out.
Hmm.
But with acupuncture needles, they are placed in the certain points along the meridians, and they stay there for at least a half hour. And I'm
Hmm.
uh, uh, um, I guess estimating, because it really depends on what's going on with the
But I got
person.
you. It's your concern is different than somebody else's, where
Yes.
you could go for blood test. Hey, thank you very much. Have a great day. 30 seconds in, out, done. Where
Yes.
the needle, much finer than the blood draw needle, is going to be in that location for a period of time.
Yes.
At this point in my life, that doesn't bother me so much. It would
Mm-hmm.
have before I changed my mindset, but I totally got you there. What that
Yeah. Yeah.
psychologically, and just to be clear, we need to say this, I believe.
Okay.
The needles that they use for each individual patient are fresh and clean. There's no recycling of needles.
That's
There's
correct.
no, you just need to. I was surprised when I talked to a acupuncturist that people actually ask them that. They're concerned that the needles are being reused. No,
Oh
no, 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 no.
no. Oh no. In fact, they have special containers
Mm,
that they drop the used needles in
yep.
so that they're not going to be reused. And when a person is receiving a session, the acupuncturist will open a fresh package, individual needle to be placed in the best site.
Yep.
Many times the meridians are compared to the longitudinal lines of the earth
Mm-hmm.
in terms of how that flows. And these and then at certain points, like I think you mentioned about a road, um, these points can be maybe considered like a rest stop or a toll booth or
Mm.
something along those lines, where that's where the point is going to be the needle is going to be placed. Know that all needles are not the same size. They are different sizes, different thickness, based on the nature of the challenge that is being addressed. Let me share an experience I had just about a couple of weeks ago. The location where I practice, they're bringing on a young lady who is starting her acupuncture, her practice. And the proprietor asked if some of the other people who practice there would come and get an acupuncture session in to support her. So I said, yeah, sure. Come on. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Nice.
And it was more like a community acupuncture where we did not disrobe. We had exposure so that our arms were exposed and our legs were exposed, and then maybe the face or neck, depending upon what's going on. So the young lady did her interview of each person one at a time. And when she came to me, I shared with her, just some things going on, general health, but some areas of difficulty. So she said, okay. And I was in, I guess, like a lounge chair where I was leaning back so that it would be very relaxful and restful. And she placed a needle in a certain part, and I jumped, and I'm like, ooh. And it wasn't that it hurt. It was like a tickle kind of feeling. But she did not like that. So she took the needle out. She got another one that was thinner and then placed that in, and I did not feel anything. And then just went through the whole thing.
So what do you think? Why do you think you felt that tickle, like a sensation? Wow.
You know what? I asked her that, and she said that the size needle that she used was interfering with the removal or the clearing of the blockage that was there.
No harm done, Dr.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was just, one of those things, and
yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. That
Yes.
tickled.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah. But she's because she's still having things work out. Her concern is for the comfort of her patients, and that when the needles are placed, that the person is aware, but not to the point of having a real sensation.
And I have to believe it didn't hit the target the way she intended it to.
Exactly.
So it might not have the same outcome again.
Exactly.
Not that anything went wrong. There was, it's not like she hit something in your body and, oh my gosh, we have a problem. No. It just wasn't the intended. It's like we, talk about the Meridian Road. She made a turn.
Yes.
Went off road for a moment, get back on the road.
Exactly. Now, I will say that acupuncture and acupressure are very, very similar in that with acupressure, the practitioner is placing their finger at the meridian point to help release and move the energies. And instead of using needles. So there is that similarity between acupressure and acupuncture.
Maybe it would be impactful. I never thought of that, to see a acupressurist first. Ooh. To get a feeling for, what they do and how they address the different meridians in the body. And then if you feel, improvement, maybe go back and really do it up by going to an acupuncturist.
Excellent idea. Excellent idea.
I would have said that for myself maybe 5 years ago. Right now, give me the
now you're ready. You said ready. Bring it on.
Hey, guess what? I talked to one in the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
Acupuncturist.
Right.
She says that she does it for the skin. It's like Botox. And I'm like, how is that possible? Because Botox freezes certain muscles. And I'm like, is the acupuncture needle freezing some? She goes, no. And she, by the way, is Asian. She said, what's going on is it's increasing the chi and blood flow in your face because as we age, we don't have the same flow, and that's what causes wrinkles and such. So that's what's going on there. I was like, I didn't realize that. She goes, you would not believe how old I am. Because she does it for herself and her patients. But really, it's, I guess it's, if you take, if you do, let's say, a facial, you go somewhere, spa, or even you just on your own exfoliate, and you just get the blood flowing. Your skin looks different. This is kind of the same thing, I would believe.
Wow, that is oh my goodness, I had no idea.
Right.
And I've seen needles. In fact, where I went for community acupuncture a while back, they would put them in the face, but it was because the person was having like sinus problems or headaches, where they would put them in the forehead or the top of the head. But I had no idea that they could be placed. But it makes sense when you think about the flow of chi, the flow of energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And with that chi is the flow of blood. And that's potentially what's missing, in us as we grow older within our skin. I mean, there's a reason it's 2025 and we're still talking about something that is centuries old.
Yes, thousands of years old. But again, I caution a person, if you're interested in it, please make sure that the practitioner is licensed and trained in acupuncture. Do not try to do this on your own.
I can't even imagine. Like, who would even think that that's a good idea? But it's just, it's the same thing as we have to say that the needles are fresh, they're not recycled from other people.
That's correct.
We don't know what other people are thinking. Wonderful talking about this today, and I love the fact that you dig into everything holistic in terms of healing. You are not an acupuncturist, but you're happy to share this knowledge with others because it's all a part of you.
And back at the beginning of this series of podcast, I shared with you about, as well as the viewers, about body talk.
Yes.
And one of the parts of the body talk chart is a section called other modalities. And so I have my list of other modalities, and acupuncture is on that list.
Oh, wow.
And I had a client maybe about 2-3 weeks ago come to me. And, we did the body talk session, but they were talking about pain and discomfort that they were feeling in their neck. So we did the session, and sure enough, acupuncture came up as one of the things that she should try in easing the flow of chi and releasing the pain in her neck.
Because are you saying
yes,
body talk and go back, everybody, fascinating to learn that your body is talking to you. It can tell you what it needs.
Yeah.
And you're able to help people interpret that.
Yeah.
But final question here, because we're out of time, but I got to find out. Are you saying that her body was saying, yeah, I would be better if you did acupuncture on me?
That's how it was interpreted. Now, with the body talk session itself, we were also able to find out that there was a person that was being what she thought being a pain in her neck. And so we had to address the emotional parts to that.
For sure.
But in asking the energy within the body, what other modalities it needed, when we came to acupuncture, it said yes. We got a clear yes. And she didn't realize, I didn't know. And that's one of the key reasons why I enjoy body talk, because it doesn't require me diagnosing, or, I just ask the body, and the body shares what it needs and what it wants.
And I remember telling you when we were talking about that, I had a rotator cuff issue on this side year before last. And I went a little physical therapy, just didn't had to pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
It was I'll let that go. Eventually got better. Going to go back to playing tennis this summer. I believe it happened from the previous summer. But you and somebody else identified, or at least suggested, oh, you have a pain right there? It's probably from a woman. And that was the truth. Like there was a situation involving a female, and on this side of the body, it is typically something conflict related to female. Just leave it at that. So,
yes.
That wasn't just a random thing. They said, like, oh, yeah, interesting. This goes so much deeper. This is all in your wheelhouse. Best way to find you, Dr. Jackie, how do we do that?
My website is earthlyessence.life. Life. earthlyessence.life.
Starts with a conversation. There's so many different modalities you have. And thank you for all the insight on acupuncture today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful to be here. Thanks so much for your engagement and all of it.
Well, thank you. I'm grateful for you and your passion to help people. It is your purpose. And we'll catch up next time, okay?
All right. Sounds great. Thank you. Take care.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.